Hello, my name is Bertubin, and today we're going to take a look at the heuristics for two games. Both of them are action. One of them is Iron Pants, and one of them is Flappy Plane. Now, they're actually relatively similar games, but I wanted to take a look at the more or less the implementation, also in line with the idea that there's Flappy Bird who just left the market, but has had a very interesting success rate in the last couple weeks. 28 days, I think it expanded. And there's been a lot of press on that, the recent pulling of it from the App Store. So anyways, to jump right in, the first one I did was Iron Pants. Iron Pants is a very similar game. We can actually take a look at this, and I'll basically show you a picture. Here it goes. And this is a very basic kind of side-scroller game where by using this one tactile motion or tapping repeatedly on the screen will adjust the height in which the character will move. And the physics in this is very hard to predict, and it has some sort of a curve that goes, and it's really kind of hard to control. But the things when we're talking about usability and mobility heuristics, nothing really on the usability. Actually, I'll find out that the game is the gameplay is what got it its 3 stars. I think so. I think it was almost too hard for an average player, which we'll get into that later. But overall, the only thing I noticed in the usability is there was no help section, and we'll take a look at that. Here's the main menu. And aside from that, when we get into the mobility heuristics, nothing really except the occurrence of the game handles interruptions. And I was fortunate to get a screen capture, a video of this, and we'll take a look at somebody actually calling me while in the middle of the game. So let's take a look at that. So we can see that from here, it doesn't handle. If I was actually playing this game well, and let's say I had a high score on a run, a pretty high run that I could have kept going, I would have been pretty upset that this actually slams me back to the beginning and ends the game for me. So other than that, that was the main thing that was kind of major, especially in a very hard to play game like that. So that is the first one. So taking a look at the second one, we have Flappy Plane. Now actually before I go down, the heuristic score here was a 2, which is not bad. Here it is a 3, where out of the total, this is pretty major, but it's not too bad overall. Especially up top, the usability decently good, but it's also a very simple game to kind of speak out again, for that. Technically I may not need it, but it was just not present. So let's take a look at the other game, which was called Flappy Plane, and very similar, kind of a knock or a bite off of Flappy Bird. And we had a lot of things in here. Screen layout is efficient and visually pleasing. Not really. It wasn't it was actually really low-fi for me. And then also there was an ad at the very bottom of the screen that really got in the way of where you're, it actually encumbered my hand position because I didn't want to accidentally tap on the ad. And it was constantly present throughout the entire application. So my recommendation was to take out the ads until the end of gameplay at least. Otherwise, navigation is consistent, logical, and minimalist. So this is minor, but the share button at the end of the game doesn't look like a share button. We'll take a look at that. And so you can see here that it looks like a download button actually, and I would recommend that we change it to an iOS looking share, like the square with the up arrow. Player cannot make reversible errors, and we'll take a look at this. So what we just saw was me trying to hit the remove ads because the ads are annoying. and hitting it twice actually crashes the app. Um, so that's and you can see here that I actually rated that major. Let me shrink this down a little bit. So this, or imperative, if being that there's your main thing is to annoy the user with ads and to make yourself money, and then you're going to essentially do an in-app purchase or download a new version of it. I don't even know if it works, but it crashes the app. And so for me, if I was super annoyed at the game because of ads, I would go ahead and delete this. So once again, this doesn't contain a help section, and that was minor because the simplicity of the game, it may not be needed once again. Other than that, the only thing I can mention, or if we take a look at this now, this scored definitely lower, a lot lower, a lot of issues. For the usability, it scored a 9, where lowest is greater. That was just like, this may also be opinion, but that was just not good. And here, also, one other thing, the game is the same exact as the Iron Pants. It does not handle a interruption, and this is for both. This is the recommendation actually for both games, to pause the game and do a count and timer. Offer a resume or a quit, and then go into a countdown timer so that the user can gain context of what's going on in the game. I think that's fair, especially in these very addictive competitive games. So this is my review of both Flappy Plane, the heuristics for Flappy Plane, and also, or Flying Plane as it reads on my device, and also Iron Pants. Thank you, and you guys have a wonderful day.